If you're finding yourself getting very stressed in your trading journey after you losing trades or at the end of reviewing your weekly performance or monthly performance, I want to share something with you in this video, a fresh perspective, a broader perspective on how I encourage my clients and my students to think about their trading income, which takes an enormous amount of pressure away from them, off their shoulders, and it also puts them in the best possible place to make sustainable money from their trading also. This video is going to be very practical as well as something that's going to offer you a fresh perspective to help lower stress in your trading and increase your profitability. So let's get into it. Now, when we think about a trading day or a losing trading day, and sometimes we just need a fresh perspective on a losing trading day. And what can happen is we can get so zoomed in on this one individual trade. And that one individual trade on that trading day is a loss, for example. And let me just drop this down a bit. It's a loss. And the first thing I encourage my clients, my students to consider is that you took one loss in a larger sample space. And traders have a sample space of trades. If you take that one loss and all you're focused on is that one loss in isolation with no broader perspective or no context, then that loss can be extremely painful and devastating. But the truth is, there's a sample space to our trading, and we're going to experience both losses and wins. And what I'm doing here is I'm drawing what could be considered a sample space. So that one loss taken in isolation without a broader perspective could be at the time viewed as something that's bad and terrible and negative and very, very painful. But the first thing I encourage traders to do is to broaden their perspective a little bit and consider the next trade and consider the trade before that loss. And you realize, oh, you know what? I took a win in my previous trade and I may take a win in my next trade. So if I put that loss in context of the trade before and trade after, it's not as painful. And then broaden that perspective even more. And start to put that one trade in context of a larger sample space, and then an even larger sample space. Until what you're doing is you're putting that one loss, that one insignificant loss, that one insignificant trade in context and in perspective of the larger sample space. And when you have a look at the larger sample space from a broader overview perspective at the end of a month or at the end of a year, you can sometimes ask yourself the question, why did I bother going through these oscillations of positive and negative and up and down and these emotions? At the end of the larger sample space, at the end of the year, I ended up with 37%, for example, profitability. And that's a good result. But why did I go through this whole journey of being very, very happy when I won and very, very sad when I lost, very, very happy when I win and sad when I lose, etc., etc.? Why bother going through those oscillations of up and down, happy and sad? Rather, what's more important here is putting that one individual trade in context of the larger sample space. When I talk about transitioning from outcome-based thinking to process-based thinking, this is what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about broadening your perspective and putting the one trade in context of the larger sample space, this is what I'm talking about. This is what the best traders do. They have a broader perspective. They don't fixate on the one individual trade. They focus on that, on the larger sample space. They focus and they fixate on executing on their processes. Because if you're fixated on the one individual trade, you're going to be incredibly sad when you lose, and you're going to be very happy when you win, and then happy when you win, and sad when you lose. And you're going to go through these oscillations and these swings in emotion, which when you then look back on the larger sample space, unemotionally view it from a broader perspective, you ask yourself the question, why did I even bother? Because that 7% win or that 3% win, what it was, if I put it on average, factoring in my losses, on average what it is this. it's 37%. So why get very happy when I win and then very depressed when I lose? Put that win in context and recognize it may be covering losses of the past, or it may be compensating for losses of the future. And too many traders get happy when they win, sad when they lose, happy when they win, sad when they lose, happy when they win, sad when they lose. But when you broaden your perspective, what you can do is you can extract the mean, the center point, and realize that on average you're going to get a return, and that's what you're going to be focused on. Don't get happy when the results are above that, because that may be compensating for losses of the past or future losses. Rather, just stay balanced and stick to your trading plan. And this is the transition from outcome-based thinking to process-based thinking. And this free tool that I call the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, it's a free tool in the link in the description. You can download and start using it. I encourage you to. Helps you facilitate this process of detaching from the outcome of the individual trade and focusing on the broader perspective, the larger sample space. Okay? And I don't want to stop here, because there's a broader perspective to this that you can encompass as well. And this may be your results at the end of the year. And you can put that into a broader perspective again and think of even a larger sample space. But the truth is, when we talk about your wealth and your income and that type of stuff, chances are trading is only going to be one form of that. And chances are, as traders, there's going to be another form. So this is one form of our wealth. And chances on top of that, you're going to have another form of wealth where you may have a part-time or a full-time job. Or you may have other income-producing income streams, like additional businesses, other positive sum businesses, or service or product-based businesses that you have to generate income. So you've got one form of income, which is your trading, and you've got trading income. And by the way, this can be broadened. This can be broken up even more. You can have prop firms, you can have personal accounts, you can have private investment. So you can break up trading into multiple smaller pieces. But when we talk about income and wealth for yourself, chances are you're trading, you've got a part-time or full-time job, you may even have additional businesses, and then you may also have other investments and sometimes income-producing investments if you've been doing it for a while, where you're getting a dividend and reinvesting that. So when we talk about wealth creation in general, then that, again, we're talking about this one individual loss here. When you put that one individual loss in context of the greater picture, the larger sample space, the year performance, and then you factor in your other income streams, your businesses, your other investments and income producing income, then it's a little less painful when you then take a loss. And we can call this whole component here your wealth creation for yourself. Wealth creation. This is going to be, a mix of finance and business. And then when you broaden your perspective even more, you realize that you don't only have wealth creation and finance and business in your life. You've got 7 areas to your life. So you've got 5 other areas. You've got finance and business here. And then you have your family and relationships. You got your health and fitness. You got your mental faculties and learning. You have your social leadership and some sort of social cause you're committed to, and then you may have some sort of a spiritual or mission-based perspective as well, where you're a little bit more focused on the spiritual side of things, the mission, your goals, all that type of stuff. So when you broaden your perspective even more, you realize you have friends and family. And you broaden your perspective even more, you realize you have your health as well and your fitness to focus on. And these, by the way, are different forms of wealth that people have. And you also have your mental faculties and your learning and your education and your personal development. And you've got your spiritual mission, which doesn't have to mean anything religious or anything. It's just the mission, the path you're on. And then you have your social leadership. any sort of impact you want to make in other people's lives or on the world or on society, whatever it may be. So when you broaden your perspective, you realize that that one little insignificant loss doesn't really mean much in terms of the larger sample space. And the larger sample space for you trading, put that in context with your other income streams, and it becomes less significant, that the pain of that one individual loss. And then when you broaden your perspective even more beyond wealth creation, you realize you've got other components of your life, other forms of wealth, family, relationships, friends, and then you have your health and fitness, and you got your mental faculties and your learning and your personal development, you got your mission, and you got your social leadership, and those are the 7 areas of life there. When you broaden your perspective and put things in context, you realize that that one loss is not that big of a deal. Okay? So what I'm finding with a lot of my clients and students, especially my new clients and students who are just coming in before working through the 12-week program, what I'm finding is that a lot of them are just fixated on this one individual trade, and all they want to do is just have a win on that one individual trade. And then neglecting everything else. They're neglecting the larger sample space, they're neglecting other income sources, they're neglecting other investments, they're neglecting other areas of their life. And from what I've seen working with clients that are more sustainable and stick around for a longer period of time and have sustained success as a trader, is that you have to have a slightly broader perspective. Yes, your trading plan and that one individual trade, sticking to your trading plan on that trade is very, very important. That's the first step. Having a trading plan that you are certain has an edge, and then for each individual trade, you're adhering to that. But it's also important to use what I mentioned before, the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, to broaden your perspective and not get caught up in the outcome of that individual trade. And then it's important, so you got your edge in your trading plan, it's also important to also have additional sources of income through a part-time or a full-time job, especially as you're developing your trading. You don't want to rely solely on just your trading income full-time, because you want to be empowered in your wealth. Otherwise, you're going to come to the market trying to make money, trying to force setups, trying to force ideas in the market, and that doesn't typically play out very well. You want to have a part-time or a full-time job with cash savings to take care of your income and expenses so that you can stick to making process-based decisions with your trading. And then once you get your trading in a good place, you then want to consider using the time and the resources you have from your trading after you've scaled up with prop firms to then invest into your own business or growing your own business or other businesses so you have additional income sources. And then when your trading and your business income exceeds the income you make from your part-time or full-time job, you can then quit this job and you have time and space freedom now to focus on your business and your trading. And then all the income you're making from your business and trading, you're taking a portion of it and you're funneling it into investments and you're building your investments up. And all the while you're empowering your wealth, you also have action steps that you put in place to empower your relationships and family. You've got time that you're spending with your loved ones and to develop your relationship with girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, spouse, whatever it may be. And all the while you're also empowering your health and fitness and going to the gym and eating well and walking and drinking lots of water. And you're also reading and empowering your mental side of things, getting smarter and getting sharper. And you're very clear on your mission and your goals for the next 3 years at least. And you know exactly where you're heading and you feel like you're a man or a woman on a mission. Every day you're waking up to do something for a very particular reason. And you're also making an impact in other people's lives, maybe just through the exemplification of living a life you want to live. Or maybe you have relatives or friends that you're sharing stories with and telling them about what you're doing to inspire them. Or maybe you're doing something a little bit more on social media, or sharing ideas or sharing concepts, or your business is impacting people in some way, shape, or form. And can you see that if you have a broader perspective and you got more going on, not only more, but just a broader perspective through all 7 areas of life, and you're empowered holistically, then that one individual loss, so who cares? So it doesn't really matter if I take a loss on this particular day. But what I find is that traders get very, very emotional when all they're focused on is being right on the next individual trade. Nothing else matters. And if they take a loss on that trade, it's the end of the world. because they haven't considered all these other components that I put in here. And that's why I think sometimes all a trader needs is a broader perspective. They need to take a step back. They need to put things in context and realize that that one individual trade, that one individual loss, and in fact that one individual win, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What matters is setting up the proper processes in your trading, and which is having an edge, putting into a trading plan, using the 6-figure trading plan template I have for free in the description. Set that up. Then use the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool before every trade. It's a tool in the description, completely free. And then focus on consistently executing on your trading plan with a balanced state of mind over a larger sample space. And then scale up with prop firms. Utilize great access to prop firms. So Tellus Capital, there's some other great prop firms out there. Leverage these prop firms so that you can scale up and make more income. And then use that income to diversify and add more income streams. And then as your income goes through the roof, you're now investing a portion of that income. Okay? And if you dedicate yourself to building yourself up holistically, then that one individual loss doesn't matter. And your trading results improve because you become so carefree on the outcome that all you're focused on is the process. Okay? Now, I understand that at some times you have to zoom in a little bit on one area to focus on empowering that, but never forget about the broader picture and the broader perspective. It's very, very important to get a little perspective sometimes. So if you found yourself being a little bit down in the dumps or beating yourself up after a loss, use this video as a broader perspective so you have a roadmap for where you're heading over the next year to 3 years. If you found this useful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with those that you know will get value from it. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.